He has a giant arm cannon right there, and I'd love to see him use that against Hound. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is Webster's. We're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 142, and in this episode, I would like to shave all the shoutouts to the very end of this episode, so stay tuned for that. In this episode, it's all about Onslaught. Onslaught is one of many new characters that are being introduced into the Transformers cinematic universe. He's also one of 7 characters that make up the Decepticons. There's Megatron, Barricade, Hooligan, Mohawk, Nitro, Berserker, and now Onslaught. So, this episode's all about Onslaught. What do we know about Onslaught? Well, Onslaught in G1 was part of the Combaticons. He is one of 5 members who form Bruticus, and in G1 he was a mobile artillery vehicle. But in Transformers Last Night, he is something totally different. A heavy-duty tow truck from Western Star. And we've only seen him in robot mode once, and that is in the latest trailer. So this episode is all about Onslaught and everything we know about him. But before we talk about Onslaught, we actually gotta talk about Canopy. Now, you're probably thinking, why do we gotta talk about Canopy in an episode that is about Onslaught? One is an Autobot, one is a Decepticon. Why, in the name of Junkion, is there a connection? Well, there is a connection. A physical connection. I'm not saying that they're connected physically, like at the hip, but there is a physical connection. Just go along with me and hear me out. So, let's first, let's talk about Canopy. So, what is Canopy? Well, we never knew he was actually Canopy, but in the very first trailer, we did see Canopy, but we didn't know he was called Canopy. He was just a character that appeared to be, appeared to be dying. He was crawling on the ground, which suggested that he's been beaten up, alright? Then later we found out his name is Canopy, because in that Kids' Choice Awards clip, we actually see that Izzy's character, Izzy, is friends with him, and then in the extended TV spot, she says, "Get up, Canopy, wake up," or something like that. So we now know that this character's name is Canopy, and here is a shot of Canopy getting up. And then I got this tweet. And it's from Seth Gordon, and he says, "Hey Alex, the yellow bot that the kids hide under is a long-haul reused model. I think this mold will be reused as well." And then I responded, "You're definitely onto something." And now we take a closer look, check out this shot here, and you're absolutely right. This is a reused model. It's been repainted yellow. It's got those black and white hazard strips. However, the head is, of course, very different. Now, this is, of course, a representation of many things. First of all, a brand new character, or you could look at it from a more negative perspective, and that is, they're just reusing molds. This is just recycled molds. This is, happening way too much. Can't they just make new designs? Well, I looked at it like that for a moment. But then I thought of it another way. And that is, just what if, these Cybertronians landed on Earth and they took whatever form that was closest to them? And a lot of these modes could be molds that were taken, or rather a lot of these alt modes. I won't say molds, molds is for toys. A lot of these alt modes could have also been taken by Decepticons. And therefore, Canopy took a mold that was also used by Decepticon. There was Long Haul, which is a green giant dump truck. And now there's Canopy, who has the same alt mode, except he's a different color, but he is an Autobot. Now, I was just randomly just watching Transformers Age of Extinction clips, and suddenly I came across this scene right here. You guys remember this? This is a very brief scene where they're rebuilding Chicago. This scene happens within the first 10 minutes of Transformers Age of Extinction. And then while I was watching it, something caught my eye that I never even noticed before. And that is Canopy's right here. Canopy exists in Transformers Age of Extinction, and I didn't even know it. He's right here, and one of these dump trucks is Canopy. Check this out. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6 at the very, very back. And what they are doing is hauling out, no pun intended, they're hauling out broken Decepticon mothership parts from Chicago. This scene where Izzy is telling Canopy to wake up, I'm pretty sure takes place in Chicago. After all, Izzy lost her parents in the Battle of Chicago. So it suggests that she lives in Chicago. And this scene takes place in Chicago, like a ruined part of Chicago after the big battle of Chicago that took place in Transformers Dark to the Moon. And there he is. Canopy. Not Long Haul, Canopy. They just share the same alt node because Cybertronians landed all over the world, and just by coincidence, they happen to share the same alt node. So there he is right there. Let's take a close look at Long Haul. This is the concept art from concept artist Josh Nizzi, and yes, it is extremely obvious that Long Haul and Canopy share the exact same alt mode. Of course, Canopy has a different head sculpt, and Long Haul, green instead of yellow, has a more evil looking head sculpt. Here's another look at him. Look how evil he looks. And now here's another look. Really cool CG renders, by the way. Now let's move on to talk about Onslaught and where the connection is. Here's Onslaught as a vehicle. Obviously, extremely different. And I don't even think it shares the same mass. It could not possibly share the exact same mass as Long Haul, as a giant dump truck. At least I don't think so. He's a Western Star heavy-duty tow truck. This is the type of tow truck that tows like big vehicles. I'm talking about like these big trucks, like buses even. You know what I'm saying? And now here is our absolute best shot we've seen so far of Onslaught. And let's take a look at him. And yes, he actually does look a lot like Long Haul, as a lot of people on YouTube made comments that suggested that. I've been reading a lot of comments, and a lot of people are saying that Onslaught looks a lot like Long Haul. And at first I was just thinking they were saying that just because Onslaught shares the same color as Long Haul, and that is green. But there's more to it than that. Look at him. The legs, the feet, the way the chest is, because there's those panels that go across diagonally. And instead of giant wheels that Long Haul has on his shoulders, it's replaced with these a set of 2 wheels on his shoulders. And of course, there's a lot of other differences, but we'll have to take a closer look when we see a more up-close photo of him. But that's all we have. Now, I also love that he has a giant arm cannon right there, and I love to see him use that against Hound. You know, it looks like they would be both equals. Now, what I'm suggesting right here is exactly what a lot of people have been commenting. Canopy is Long Haul, like in physically, just like how Onslaught is also Long Haul. They share the same not alt modes, but their robot composition. You know what I'm saying? Because this looks just like Onslaught looks just like Long Haul, but with different parts replaced, retooled, if you will. However, there is one more thing that I'd like to suggest, and I don't know if anybody caught this, or maybe I'm just the only one, but Long Haul actually, when I looked, not Long Haul, Onslaught, when I looked at his head, reminded me of something that took place in Transformers Dark to the Moon. And that is Junkheap. Look at Junkheap, and look at his head. Look at his head shape. Doesn't that remind you of Onslaught? It looks just like it right there. And that is something that I can't miss. But who's to say that Onslaught doesn't share the same head shape as Long Haul? They all got very, very similar head shapes. Onslaught, Long Haul, and Junkheap. Very, very similar looking, But as for Junkheap, it's really just his head. As for the rest of him, I can't really tell. Maybe it is, and maybe they have been recycling that mold. I wouldn't be surprised, but we just don't have like a really, really movie accurate toy for Junkheap, so we can't really tell. But I wouldn't be surprised if it really is. After all, they are both big green trucks, and to top things off, they're huge trucks. So that's all I can say. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that Onslaught and Junkheap share a physical appearance? Like, do you think they share that? Take a close look at that scene with Junkheap and let me know in the comment section below. Because I think that this is Industrial Light and Magic, or rather maybe Michael Bay and his team of concept artists deciding that maybe we do want to recycle some designs, but we're gonna make them different, which suggests that the Cybertronians have a uniform look to them, but they've also been scanning vehicles that were scanned by other Cybertronians, which is a high possibility. I mean, you could totally look at it from that perspective, as opposed to just thinking that they're just recycling molds, which they are, but there's an explanation for that, and it could very well be a true explanation. But that's just my theory and speculation. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm just loving the way Onslaught looks. It's about time that we have a big, bulky Decepticon that's not a sports car. We've been seeing all these sports cars, these supercars, they all look sleek and all that, but I want to see more unique alt modes. And I'm so glad that they're bringing in a giant Western Star tow truck that becomes this hulking monster of a Decepticon. And look at that arm cannon. I just want to see him use that. Anyways, it's possible that we might see more footage of Onslaught once we get to watch that's Transformers Last Night exclusive IMAX sizzle reel, which I'm going to be able to watch next Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we get to see new footage. Anyways, that's really all I got to say in this episode. Why don't you guys let me know in the comment section below if you think that Junkheap and Onslaught share a physical appearance. You know what I'm saying? If they actually share that same look to them. Let me know about that. I'm not exactly sure, but what do you guys think? He definitely does share the same kind of body design as Long Haul for sure, but he's definitely not the same size. There's no way he can be the same size as that giant dump truck. Anyways, now let's do some shoutouts. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Amir, because I actually tweeted that if you took a screenshot of my subscriber count at 80,888, I would give you a shout out. And Amir was the very, very first one to send me that screenshot at 80,888. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. It shows that you were paying attention to my tweets and you were really quick about it. So thanks so much. You're awesome. And I feel very lucky because in Chinese culture, the number 8 and the more 8s you have shows it's a representation of good luck. So I feel very, very lucky. And I feel lucky because all of you guys are around to share the excitement and enthusiasm of the Transformers Cinematic Universe with me. I could not feel happier or luckier. Maybe if I double that amount of subscribers, I'll be happier. But I feel very, very happy and blessed to have you all here with me. Speaking of which, I'd love to give acknowledgement and a shout out to Nikki O'Connor for pointing out the fact that Sir Anthony Hopkins is actually Welsh. Not English, Welsh. He's from Wales, and I apologize for making that mistake. I said that in a previous episode that Sir Anthony Hopkins is an English gentleman, and that was a mistake. And that's what I thought. I didn't know that. He's actually Welsh because he's from Wales, and I would like to clarify that. So thank you so much for pointing that out for me, and I just didn't know. So I appreciate that you guys are out there to correct my mistakes. I couldn't possibly know everything about about everything that's out there. So thanks so much for correcting me. I really appreciate it, and I apologize for making that mistake. Last thing I'd like to say is I gotta give birthday shoutouts. They go out to Mason Smith, Mike and Plain Kaka Person 28, Ghost Clan, Fire Dragon 2235, and Alexander Brown. Happy birthday to every single one of y'all. Hope you have a good one. Thank you for being part of the Ragin Nation. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. Stay tuned for the next one. We're gonna talk about a brand new Decepticon, and we're gonna get really in depth into this character, just like I did with Onslaught. This is an episode that's dedicated to Decepticon Nitro and more information that we know about him. So anyways, that's all I gotta say. Stay tuned for the next episode. As always, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name's Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. And they ravage a whole lot of Cybertron. There's a lot of war. And they actually forced the Knights of Cybertron to carry out their sinister whims.